Legends are reaching me, sharing knowledge with you and me, teaching us how to lead with Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Yeah. Keep on building that synergy. One blood that on you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One blood that on you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One blood that on you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One blood that on you and me.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Wow, guys, it's been a couple of weeks now on Happy Friday. I hope everyone's doing okay. I'm excited. I'm just too elated about so much wonderful stuff. But today of all days, September the 15th, 2023 is one of those Power 5 days that we are going to bless so many who's tuning in. Guys, before I even get started with the details on how we're going to do this podcast show, I want you to start sharing this out right now. Don't wait. Share it. If you're over there on YouTube, share it. If you're over there on Facebook, share it. You know what to do. This is our second season. You've been here with us and you know how we get down. So welcome again. My name is Sharon Parker. I'm the host of the Sharon Lee Briefing podcast show. And the theme this year is, the Sharon Lee New Destination. You know how we like to travel all over the world, even virtually, to meet people and find out what they're doing, but most importantly, share their legacy story. But while we're doing this, guys, keep in mind, we're having fun, right? We're learning and we're celebrating. That's the theme of this podcast show. We have fun, we learn, and we celebrate. We celebrate our guests, we celebrate each other, and we share our story. That's what legacy building is all about. So I want you all to do me a favor and always follow the rules, guys. If you're over there on Facebook, for some reason, I don't get to see your name, put your name in the comments if you have a question. Those who know has been with us for both seasons, you know that in order to see us on Facebook, you would have to have sent me a Facebook group invite to the Sharon Lee Briefing podcast show and say, please accept me so I can watch on Facebook. If you did not do that, then you can only watch on YouTube. But guess what? You can ask questions in the comments. You can literally, make comments and you can engage us throughout the whole podcast show. So I am very, very, very excited. I like to also start with this time of thanking always our wonderful sponsors. Smart Video Girl, Krista Glenn, always behind the scenes engineering, working to make us shine and show up like, professionals. I'm so happy that she's able to always stay with us. We definitely appreciate her. And we encourage you all to contact her, right? Because she knows how to build that synergy in the community and keep us connected. I want to thank Dana Parker for creating the theme song for us. I just want to say that we're looking for the second theme song too for season 2, but this one, we love it. And I just also want to thank your wonderful husband, my nephew, Sean Parker, for always making sure that the lights show up on us professionally. So thanks for being our videographer in the studio, as you know, adding value to us. I want to thank Lisa Dub Washington. Wow, can't say enough about Lisa Dub Washington. I hope you all enjoyed that wonderful intro promo to Rosa's 10th annual Leading Within conference. Lisa and her team, I tell you, they're awesome. Reach out to her. You're going to meet her tomorrow at the 10th annual conference. So get her contact because she can help level your business up more. Believe that. Okay. All right. So let's get started, guys. So again, I just want to say we are in for a treat of our lives. And I'm talking about a true, guys, destination treat. Okay. And you're going to learn about what that means because I'm going to learn about what that means, right? So our guest today is no other than a wonderful woman that I met in Philadelphia. I would say about maybe 3 years ago. It was some type of fashion show that was held, and Dr. Sylvia Tremore Morrison invited me up, and I think she was like one of the MCs. And as I was leaving out for the night, this beautiful, beautiful young lady came out, and I'm like, wow, I got to take your picture. So I took a picture and I said, you got to give me a contact. Maybe I may have waited maybe a day or two before I reached out to her. And then I learned about her legacy. I said, you know what? One day I'm going to have her on a platform. I didn't know at the time what it was because the podcast had not been implemented yet. We just started this last year. So when it was time to call her and say, hey, look, we got it together over here at Rosa. I want you to be a guest on our show. And she said, without a doubt, no doubt about it, I'll be there. And her word, believe me, guys, is her bond. Okay. So who am I talking about? I'm talking about the first female African-American Archbishop, Mary Floyd Palmer. Please, please, please bring her up. Drum roll, y'all. Bring her up. Hello, beautiful. I love that blue. I think you're on mute. Come on. Are you on mute?
I am, but I just got it on mute. Help an OG out, boy. Let me tell you. How are you, Precious? How are you?
You know, I am absolutely wonderful. It is so good to see you
It is
again.
wonderful to see you.
I tell you, I cannot remember the name of that fashion show, but you were there. Um, I just wanted to know before we get into anything with the interview, because this is
Hmm.
a special moment for us, guys. So I just want to get to know you personally. Why were
Sure.
you at the fashion show? What was the history behind that fashion show?
Well, of course, it was the African American beauty pageant, Black
Mm,
beauty pageant, and um, I had been watching that for years on TV. It started in Philadelphia, so they
okay.
were celebrating their 50th anniversary, and I happened to know one of the founders who was kind enough to invite me to come and to support, and they were doing a live taping of it. So I was able to mix and mingle. I had also been with each one of the contestants.
Mm,
We were at City Hall where they were honored on that Thursday, and I was there to give them words of encouragement and to pray for them at the as a guest of the council person. So it was wonderful to meet each one of the young ladies, to hear them introduce themselves, what their aspirations were, and then I gave them words of encouragement and prayed for them. And so it was an honor. So the invitation was extended to me to come and watch it live as well. So I was grateful for that.
that is amazing, guy. This is why you got to stop what you're doing and share this out. I don't care what platform you're on. Stop right now and share this out to the world because I'm telling you, you are in for a major, major, major treat.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
thank you for sharing that. Dr. Sylvia Tremore Morrison, she invited me. And, you know, when you're friends with people, you don't know exactly what you're going to, but you don't miss the opportunity and go there. So 50th anniversary of the Black African American or Black female
Beauty pageant.
beauty
Black
pageant.
beauty pageant.
Oh, that is amazing. So, guys, check
Yes,
this out,
ma'am.
guys. So, y'all know I love the Power Five, right? Anything Power Five deals with grace for me and power, and that comes from God. So, every time I get an opportunity to do a Power Five moment, I always shout it out. Who knew a few years ago that I would be going to an established event like that? I brought my daughter with me, Tanique Parker, as well, and we had an absolute ball. So, I tell you what, let's get into this wonderful interview.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, we know you're going to be one of our featured speakers tomorrow at
Yes, ma'am.
Rosa's 10th annual Leading Within Conference.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you're going to be sharing your legacy story based on our theme, which
Yes, ma'am.
is, the next destination to leadership, level
Yes,
up
ma'am.
more.
Yes,
Before we
ma'am.
get into that full understanding, because guys, we're not going to give it all away to you today. I just want you to know you're going to be at that conference. She's not giving it all away to you today. She's only giving you some snippets, okay, so that you can understand the power of five and also why you need to be in the room tomorrow. But I do
Yes.
want to ask you, give us just a little background, just mainly about who you are in your childhood, where you were born, about your parents, your siblings. Give us a little background of who you are.
Well, I am Philadelphia born and raised. I am the firstborn and eldest daughter of the late Reverend Dr. Melvin Floyd, who was a legend in Philadelphia, best known for his unique car, which was a van with a coffin on top.
Mm,
And of course, my formidable late mother, Elizabeth Floyd, who stood beside him and behind him and propelled him to do something about the gang wars during the 60s and the 70s. I
mm.
was always around my daddy, hanging on to his lap. I was newsy. I wasn't going to let nobody bother him. So I saw community work in action from a very tender age of 3 and 4. At that time, he was with another ministry and was doing about gang intervention and serving. Excuse me, there goes the allergies
That's okay.
on the Philadelphia Police Department as well, but found favor with the commissioner who allowed him now to be the spokesperson and to really go around the city whenever there were any breakouts. From that, he had a passion about young people that were dying in the streets and started
Mm.
Neighborhood Crusades. And Neighborhood Crusades was an outreach urban ministry that was not only doing gang prevention, but the message shifted when the crack era came in. So he
Ah,
went from gang wars, which came to cessation by the truce that he held in Lemon Hill and Fairmount Park between the two worst gangs in the city. And
wow.
when that went citywide to now dealing with drugs. So his theme for the gangs was um, gangs are here, you'll end up there. And that was
Mm.
jail or the coffin. Then it became drugs, which was take dope, end up a dead dummy. So he kept the casket with the dummy as his formidable, and hundreds and thousands of people heard his message, not only on the street corners, which he pulled up, but in the school system. He found favor with the then superintendent, my sister from the Philadelphia High School for Girls, for which I hail, um, Connie Clayton, who
Okay.
gave him passage to every school in the city to come with his anti gang, anti drug message and
Wonderful.
would do it to hundreds of thousands of people. So I grew up already being activated in the community. The
Mhm.
other side of it was ministry. My
Mm.
father was an ordained minister of the gospel. Of course, I grew up Orthodox Baptist. Women were not necessarily embraced. I had no brothers. I'm the firstborn, and when you know, God would say to my daddy, "You need to put your hand on it." Now, if
Wow.
you understand Orthodox Baptist and that you're in the choir, you're with the children, you're in the kitchen, but you're not in the pulpit. My father, in a very sound and profound moment, called me in and said, "The Lord told me 2 years ago that you are destined to preach the gospel and to do far greater than I." And of course, I was shocked. I served him formidably at his church he founded. I had been in ministry since I was 3. I just never thought it would ever happen. I had heard other people who said, "If you come over to my church, I'll put you up." But I refused to move. I stayed faithful to the ministry of my late father, and then he decided to announce it and license and ordain me into the gospel ministry. I figured that was enough just being called reverend or elder, but my father saw a call of a higher
Yeah, yeah,
calling for
yeah.
me to the episcopacy.
Hold
And
on. hold on,
Yes,
hold on,
ma'am.
hold on. Remember,
Yes, ma'am.
we're not giving them everything. We're
I know. Well, this was the last. This was the last snippet
not
that
okay.
he recognized that that was not his calling. And what he had said is, "You will do far greater than I." So he met with the bishop he trusted, and they carried me to the next level, which was the first level of bishop that led me to archiepiscopacy. I will say that as the first and only female archbishop in the city of Philadelphia in the state of Pennsylvania. It made me historic when that occurred on March the 19th, 2009, March 16th, 2019. So
Wow.
my counterpart is Archbishop Perez of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. So I'm the only female archbishop. And people say, "Oh, you're the first black?" No, baby, I'm the only female. And if there's a black, a Latina, or anyone else that comes into it, I'm happy. But I am happy and thrilled that the first is a black sister. Come on here, somebody. Don't God know what he doing and he
All
can
the
blow your
time,
mind.
all the time, all the time. But you know what, y'all, I didn't want to give y'all all that because I wanted to bring that in later. But that's okay. You got an early treat, done it. So look, I am totally, totally. Hey, Doctor Jennifer, I am totally,
God
totally
bless you.
amazed of your story. I know when I had a chance to interview you, I also shared with you, and this is going to be later in the program. I'm just trying to get the audience prepping for it, okay? But we got a segment where we talk about your on the run story. What
Yes.
were you running from in your lifetime that made you
Mm.
want to go to the profession and the career that you're in now? But we're not going to do that right now. I
Yes,
do,
ma'am.
I do want to ask you, do you have any siblings?
I have two younger sisters.
Awesome, awesome. And
Yes.
they live in Philadelphia as well.
They also live in Philadelphia. Yes. One is the administrator of the Neighborhood Crusades Ministries, and the other is a gospel artist and gospel jazz artist and a profound photographer.
Awesome. Tell us about your mom.
Elizabeth Georgine Anderson Floyd was some force to reckon with. Um, she she was the backbone of not only the family but really the progenitor of my father's ministry launching. My father came home upset and he acknowledged it and said, "I don't know what to do about these kids dying in the street." And my mother said, "I know I didn't marry no quitter, so get up there and get out in those neighborhoods and crusade until you get the message out." And
Wow.
so he drew neighborhood crusades from her. She was working when she met them. 9 months later, they decided to get married. They had me by the 10th month, because everybody was counting fingers, and she stood in her role and was proud to be a homemaker and to make sure that whatever my father needed when he came in from the battle, he got. She took me and my sisters everywhere. She was that kind of mother. You
Mm,
were not out of her sight. She
awesome.
volunteered at the school, even all the way to my high school, 3 days a week in the lunchroom. So I could never get away from the eagle eye of my mom. But within her own right, she had a passion for souls being saved. And her passion above, besides seniors, was children. She imparted truth into children with Bible study and Bible club and loved on them and was the best youth director I have ever seen to date.
You know what, guys? I'm tell y'all, if I could just pause this podcast and just go behind the scenes and cry a little bit, that's what I want to do. Okay. I would want to do that because you have just shared a true synergy moment today.
Mm,
Um, for those who know me, they know I'm a passionate about the young generation. They know that even though I consider myself a baby boomer and everything, born in 1963, not ashamed of it,
come on, same year, baby. All right.
talking about how we went through the similar issues, but we weren't in a city like Philadelphia. We were in the country in Calvert County, and we still had challenges. We still had issues that we went through that we were trying to live. First of all, we didn't care about all
Mhm.
the artificial crap that goes on in society. We didn't care about our Facebook that we never saw anyone because we didn't even have a TV sometimes. We didn't even have a
That's right.
radio sometimes. We didn't
That's
care
right.
about TikTok or Instagram or Twitter or none of those platforms. The only thing we really focused on was, where's your family happy? Did they have a place to live? Could they feed themselves? Were they getting an education? And most importantly, were they not at risk? Were their lives being protected? That's what life meant for me growing up in the 60s. And the
Yes,
whole
ma'am.
community got involved to make sure
Absolutely.
that we did not, our children did not lose their lives. So to hear that your mom and your dad was crusades back in those times, during the crack era and all the other issues that was going on, kudos to them. And
Yes.
thank you for really, really sharing that. I mean, wow, guys, this is
Yes.
what, the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast show is all about. Like I said, yeah, we laugh, we learn, and we lead, and we celebrate one another, but at the end of the day, we have to learn more, making opportunities reachable, for everyone, which is a theme of our conference. Learn more how we cannot be distracted, and how we can engage one another again for the sake of our next generation. So thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that. So let's just get
Absolutely.
into the second part now of who you are, Queen, because you are a queen. Um, I tell you, Sylvia Trema Morrison would love, she was our first podcast guest in season one. And she would love to be on the screen right now with you to talk about,
Oh, that's my girl. I just love her. Her impressions are
she's,
just unbelievable.
oh my gosh, whenever
I
we're,
mean,
she makes
I'm
us
telling
laugh.
you, if you have not seen her show, if you have not seen her impressions, you are missing a treat. Um, she has done extremely well, and I'm so proud of her. And I ran into her recently at another the U.S. President's Award in New York, and she
Mhm.
did the same thing. And I was hosting the gala, and I was almost falling off the stage, because she's gifted. But
Yes.
she's also historic and
Yes.
being the first impressionist, female impressionist at that, and
Yes.
to carry on that legacy for over 50 years just speaks volumes. So I honor her. I honor you as well. I'm also excited because there's several honors that are on in my life. Things I never thought as a young lady growing up in North Philadelphia from the ghetto. What good can come out of the ghetto,
Yes.
especially North? Um, that the Lord has helped me to achieve um, a summa cum laude status from the prestigious Philadelphia High School for Girls. Shout out to all of the class of 224 and my sisters there.
Wow.
That was my first sisterhood, to go on to earn a doctorate and to receive an honorary doctorate through matriculation and God knows student loans. To
Yes.
also be the founder of the Samaritan Temple, my church, which was co founded along with Dr. John Thompson and my parents, who were the founding parents of that outreach ministry. And we're grateful for that. It's existing in West Philadelphia, and we are doing a work. We love church, but we believe in doing the work. And I'm community oriented, so we don't have the church building, but we save um, our venue in the community hall to meet those who sometimes have a problem with the church building, but don't mind coming around church folk. And I mean real and sincere church folk. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm the president and presiding bishop of the Philadelphia Council of Clergy, the first female to ever hold that position in
Mm,
succession to my late uncle, who wanted a man, but got stuck with a niece. And
right.
God worked that out. Additionally, probably my most is outside of becoming an ambassador to the United Nations and a peace ambassador,
Wow.
international chaplain. The greatest joy that I have, because I'm wearing the color right now, is being an international honorary member of the best sorority in the world, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, where my president and CEO is Dr. Stacy N.C. Grant. And of course, her entire cabinet. I never ever thought that what I wanted to do in college would ever come to fruition at this time in my life. I
Mm,
wanted to pledge Zeta years ago. It was not in the cards. My parents were very leery about sorority hazing and the cult kind of feel. And so they interrupted that to now come back and see God do things differently so
yes.
many years later, to be vetted, to be recruited, to be voted by the by the membership to be there. I am hippopotamus happy. And guess what? My favorite color is royal blue and white. God will answer it, maybe not in your time, but Lord, I'm trying not to preach. He will do it in His time. And I understand that my color is red because I'm an archbishop. That is my color. That's what I have to wear in my attire and so forth. But baby, every chance I get to wear it is, I do. And I peacock strut. If folks say to me, "Oh, you're excited," I sure am, boo. If you don't know me, here I am. And I'm thrilled for that.
Oh
I
goodness, you
can
got
give
me
that
crying
shout
over
out to
here.
my sisters, because even when you have those solid things within you,
Yeah.
those dreams, those wishes, those things that you say, Lord, will it happen? When? And we're so impatient, we jump the gun, we mess up, and then we say, God help us. But when you wait on Him,
You wait
my
on them.
God, today, when you wait on it, He says, be of good courage. He will strengthen your heart. And He strengthened my heart when I was approved and inducted in November 2020 during the pandemic as an international honorary member. And my intake sisters, now I'm up here with some big wigs. I'm with Vivica Fox, y'all.
Whoop whoop
I'm up here with Shaka Khan.
whoop whoop. I
Come
love
on. And
her.
then there's this little chick out of Philly who's some preacher. You know what I'm saying?
Come on
And
now.
of course, the esteemed and astute military adjutant general, Dr. Singh. So I'm up here with some heavyweights. I'm thinking they ain't gonna be voting for this little chick out of Philly. Only to be surprised and see that God allowed this to happen at this phase of my life, and something that I thought was dead. And I'm saying this to somebody and to anybody listening. Don't ever think that because it didn't happen, that it's dead. God might have made it wait for such
Woo.
a time
Can
as
someone
when
type
He
it? Can
says it's
someone type
ready.
make it wait? Can someone say make it wait? Okay, so
Make it wait.
hold on. So, guys, okay, we got people chiming in. I just want to recognize the people because I tell you, I do not like to go along without not recognizing our
Absolutely.
guest who's in. I want y'all who are making comments again. Dr. Jennifer Jones Bryant, she's going to be honored at Rose's 10th annual on tomorrow. Maria Thorpe, who is from Philadelphia, who is the queen. Who's the queen them, okay? She's going to be, she's one of our, she's always winning a seat to our conference, but she is so much more for all of us here in Maryland. She's the newly American Mothers for the Maryland Association president. I was the president
Wow.
2000 and I think 16 to 2022. We passed it over. It's like, no, Maria, you got to do this for us. And she said, okay, you want me in there? You're going to get me in there. Okay. So she's now the president for the Maryland chapter of the American Mothers Inc. I want to thank our national president who came on first, guys. I want y'all to know what time it is. Our national president, George Stephen, was the first to chime in to this podcast. And she, I hope she's still here because she's in for a wonderful treat. And I want to share with her that I put a post out there this morning because now I'm on the national board for American Mothers as the Area 5 coordinator. That's right, that power of five again, that power of five. And we're doing there, we're trying to get people to nominate a mother from around the country, for 2024 Mother of the Year. So today is the last day. We've been putting this out since Mother's Day that if you know a deserving mother out there, and you talked about your mom and everything, you're a mom. Someone better get to nominating before 11:59 p.m. tonight. Okay, it's coming.
Listen, I'm mom times three, and I keep on saying, Lord, you got to pinch me
Yes,
because
ma'am.
I'm a mother of five adults. I'm a grandmother of seven, soon to be eight grandchildren,
Yes.
and a great grandmother of a precious baby boy and baby girl. Can I tell you that God will do it? He will let you see your children and your children's children and your children's children's children. And at 60, when I should have been dead, when I got the death notice from the doctor,
Mm,
when I almost lost my life as I served as a police officer at the hand of a 14-year-old with a gun to my head, when God had me close to death, but He said, wait just a minute, it's not to be so. To
yeah.
be at this place in my life, loving ministries, serving people. And I had to say this to a pastor just the other day. If you think that certain ministry is about a big chair with a big check, and a bunch
Mm.
of people, then you've missed the whole purpose. I'm
Yeah.
grateful that I am in the club called Jesus,
Yes.
being with just 10 or 12 people and having a hallelujah time, serving and feeding and caring for and praying for and meeting the need because the need is so great,
All right.
and knowing that God is utilizing you to be able to speak life to people. That is an awesome, that is the ultimate offer and the ultimate honor that I have to be a mouthpiece for God. And
Well, I
then, of
tell
course, the
you,
rest of the things God is doing as well.
you have not only blessed so many souls today with your mouth, because I had shared with you earlier that I wanted you. I wasn't sure how to engage you, but to see the joy in you, the happiness in you. You are so on time with the celebration of our conference tomorrow. We want that kind of energy. We want that happy, celebrating energy. We've gone through a lot over our decades of life here, but we always try to put a good light on and try to make other people's lives a little better. But Rosa got to pay some bills, so hold on. We're going to get into the next. Look, we got to pay some bills, so we're going to get into the next
Yes,
segment
ma'am.
of our podcast show. Chris, could you do me a favor? Could you bring up the promo video that we had at the top of the show for those who are chiming in now and making comments? Platinum Mary Franklin, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. She's going to be a vendor. Who else on here? We talked about Maria. Someone's over there in Facebook making comments, but they're not putting their name in the chat. I think it may be you, Maria. Again, Dr. Jennifer Jones. Guys, share this, share this. Do not keep this jewel to yourself. Okay, share it out to your friends. Inbox people and say, jump on right now, because Miss Parker is not playing with us. We're gonna have a good time tomorrow at this conference, and we got to pay some bills.
Right.
So, Chris, do us a favor if you could bring that video back up, please. Thank you. Look, I want to thank our sponsors. As much work as we do over here at Rosa behind the scenes, we would not be successful at it if it was not for those who believe in our mission. And you're going to learn more about Rosa tomorrow. But I do want to let you all know what the acronym of Rosa means. And Bishop Mary, this Archbishop Mary, this is really in recognition of people like your mom and your dad. Now, I'm not sure if they're still living or not. I don't know if you mentioned that.
No, mom went to heaven first.
Okay.
She wanted to pave the way and make sure that the house was ready for when Dad came.
Yeah.
So she left us in 2015. It's been 8 years
Sorry to
now,
hear that.
actually, September 28th, and I miss her every day.
Wow, I'm so
And
sorry.
then Dad transitioned 5 years later during
Oh,
the pandemic, April 20th, 2020. So I know they both up there, and I can't wait. I just said I don't crown until I get there,
yeah.
and whenever I do, I know that I'll be able to see them again.
I like the way you said that. And I just want to say you definitely have my condolences. My mom passed away in 2010, and I've been
Mm,
fighting hard just to make her proud and hope she's shining her light down on keep
absolutely,
strong. But
absolutely.
this is what the ancestors are all about. That's why I like to talk about it. So the actual name of Rosa's organization is called Remembering Our Ancestors Synergistic Association.
Okay,
Remembering what we have in common, reconnecting with one another so that we can add value in society for the benefit of others, not just for ourselves? What are
Hmm.
we doing collectively for others as we add value? Um, I'm just going to leave it right there because you're going to learn more about that tomorrow. But I just want to say it on this podcast because some people, you may know me, but I want you to know the people behind the scenes who support Rosa. So I want to thank Dr. Arlene Span for sponsoring a ticket for some youth to come to the conference tomorrow.
Oh, bless the Lord.
I want
Yes.
Pamela Reeves for sponsoring a ticket. I want to thank, Marcella Barnes for sponsoring a ticket. Now, guys, I'm 60 years old, so I can't remember everybody's name, but I'm going to try. Okay. I want to thank Miss Remy for sponsoring a ticket. I want to thank Nicole Davis for sponsoring a ticket. I want to thank, and I'm trying to get everybody out, guys, so forgive me if I don't get everyone, but I'll share it later. I got a video production that I'm putting together and it's going to be in the program tomorrow too. But I want you all to know that I truly, 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 truly appreciate you. I do want to thank Miss Valoria Evans. She allowed me to host my book anniversary at her home in Washington, D.C. I want to thank her for that. Now, talking about books, do you have a book?
Almost.
Oh,
And you know, the sad part is that I would entrusted another colleague to edit and present it because I wanted to do it in honor of my father, and the person they referred me to pretty much scammed me out of it. So I
oh,
lost considerable money, and now I'm getting my monies back together so it can be edited and then published. And if everything goes okay, I'm hoping to be able to have a book launch. Um, Pretty much highlighting my father. I have two books that should be coming out simultaneously. One
awesome.
about my late father as a legend in Philadelphia, and we are going to be having his street naming next month. And so I'm excited about that. And
Awesome.
I would love for that to be available, but if not, we'll be doing that in February for his birthday, and then be releasing another book, hopefully in April or May. So both of them will be out, but they have been in me for over 10 years.
Wonderful.
And the Lord has finally propelled me to just go ahead forth and do so. And can I tell you that when you sometimes write the story,
Yeah.
that the reflection of it is not only for the people, but it is best for your healing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I needed that in my life, which allows me now just to look at life completely, totally different and say, you know what? If it had not been, Lord have mercy, for the Lord on my side, where would I be?
That's
Because
right.
it's because of Him I move, live, and have my being. And because He allows me to wake up every morning, I tell people this, and I say it intently. Can you imagine what kind of God has you on His mind?
Mm.
He has you on His mind that He woke you up in the morning. He called your name so you could be alive today. For me to be here with you and your beautiful self on this platform with all the wonderful folks walking, God had you on his mind. So when somebody say you ain't got value, when somebody say you ain't worth nothing, you got to stick your head back, your chest up, your neck up, and say, "Well, at least I'm on God's mind because I'm alive
Hello.
today." You can't do no better. No better than that.
I
Not your babe, not your boo, not the kids, the dog, the cat. You better say, you know what? God had me on his mind because he called me today. Woo, 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 woo. Here that part. I'm saying it with affirmation for somebody who may say, I don't feel like it. And why am I here? Because he had you on his mind and he needs you today.
Yes,
You are needed by somebody today. So show your best self.
that's right.
Turn that frown into a smile. And that
Period.
may be the blessing that you can get.
I love it. And that's what this is all about, guys. Celebrating, laughing, learning. I can't stress enough about how I hope this podcast that God allowed, us as a team to birth, because I don't like to take credit for everything. I know, I do project management by trade, and project management
Hmm.
has taught me a lot about, faith without works is dead. Okay, I know that, and project management honestly have me thinking more about what that looks like. So what does that mean? God knows I do the work. If work needs to
Mm,
be done, I'm going to do it. Um, but I can't do it alone. I always call on my
that's right.
team to say, guys, I need y'all to come in the
Yes.
fold. And I need y'all not to just show up, just come in and stay there because we can do better together if we're consistently. working together. That's why you find that synergy out there. You find out what you have in common and you work with those people and you consistently add value to their platform. So, you mentioned a few celebrities. Now, I did
Yes.
I did a newsletter this morning, and I was like, you know what, the world is gonna know this woman. If I know they already do, but they're gonna know a little bit more. So I put a little picture up there with you and who what's God, I can't even think of her name. Whitney Houston's aunt.
Oh, Dionne Warwick.
Dionne Warwick.
She is my sister, honorary member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority. And
Okay.
I was there when they named her. They honored her by naming at Bowie State University. They named their theater after her, and I was proud to be there with her when that honor was done at Bowie State University. To now have it the Dionne Warwick theater or cultural theater of arts, theater of arts theater, something to that effect. But it was wonderful to see her, absolutely,
Guys, are
and
y'all
to be with such royalty as her. And then I'm sitting up here with Shaka. Lord have mercy.
so tell me
We
about
have a
that.
picture together.
Tell me about that. When you
It's
say you're sitting up there with Chaka, what does that mean?
well, what I'm saying that I met her because we all came into the same induction class together.
Oh, okay.
And she was performing and showing casing a line of clothing for the Zetas during the January 2020 Boulette. It
Okay.
was the beginning of our 100 celebration. And after I got done saying the prayer, I'm sitting there with next to Vivica, with Lamont Rucker on the right and she on the left, and we chatting it up because we're all in the same class.
Okay.
And her Shaka's person, I want to say representative, said, Archbishop, would you mind coming back? She wants you to pray. So I walked back
Mm,
to her staging area and we had a moment to talk. And then I was able to pray for
mm.
her and her team. And she said, I'm glad I'm in your class. I said, I'm glad I'm in your class too. I said, listen, girl, if I hear about your concert, I usually don't go to them things. It's a cop thing. I see too much. I don't want to be working. But if I hear about it, I absolutely will come. Zeta will show up and we'll let you know that we love you as well. So she's my intake sister. Vivica is my intake sister. We did a
Wow.
fashion show together last year, last fall, and she's of course always busy doing whatever. But when they cross my mind and I text them and I send them a word of encouragement, they're always like, "Thanks so much," and we
Mm.
appreciate that. And because there's a bond that we have, it's going to be a lasting bond. And I'm just grateful to be in such category and in such classes. Woo! What the world would say, great people, and then they say to me, "But you're great too."
Hello.
You
I
know,
was
because
just about to say that. I'm like,
you're
wait
the
a
first
minute.
you're a female archbishop. Oh
Yeah.
my God, how did you get that?
Right.
And when they hear it, they're like, "Girl, you went through what I had to go through to break through Hollywood Shield." Differently, different occupations, if that's what you want to call it, different trace and tracks of being able to arrive, but grateful that God still had his hand on it. So I'm very proud of my intake sisters.
It's
And
awesome.
Dr. Singh, she got a building named after her because
Wow.
of her legacy in the military.
So
And
guys,
so
that's
I,
some
God,
that's some legacy
yeah,
for
the Lord had all of us in legacy together. And I'm so grateful to God for them and who they are individually as powerful women, and for me to be among such an august body of intake sisters. God says, your gift will make somebody, oh, Lord, I just looked at it. Your gift will
see,
bring you before a
see,
great
we
man
just
and
spoke
women.
platinum. She just
Hallelujah.
spoke it.
I receive that, baby.
See, see, this is a synergy moment. But let me ask you a question because most people, I,
Sure.
I don't like to make assumption that people know about religion when they don't. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so remember, I like to be redundant when I'm on a podcast because I want to make sure everyone's getting out of this show what I want them to get out of, and
Yes, ma'am.
which is the learning factor. So
Yes, ma'am.
tell us a little history behind what
Mm-hmm.
does it mean to be an archbishop.
So in the Bible, there are several offices that the Lord has set aside that He considers to be leaders in the church: pastors, elders, bishops, deacons. Most of us are familiar with the deacon. Most of us are familiar with the pastors. Most of us are for the elders. Varied denominations don't always subscribe to the office of bishop. Most people think that's Episcopal, Lutheran, more on the Catholic reigning side because, for us, our pastor is the greatest person in the world. And that's about as high as you can get in certain denominations.
Okay.
What has happened is there is an acceptance, shall I say,
Hmm.
of the theology that God knew what he was doing when he wrote the word. I'll
Hmm.
leave it at that. And
Hallelujah.
that even though some people don't want to agree or admit to it, the office of bishop is one that is highly regarded in God's word.
Mm.
Is it going to say in a specific chapter and verse that the bishops were overseeing and doing so? No. But they are offices that God has ordained in his church.
Mm.
For us as women, we had to fight a lot of genderism and
Okay.
sexism to even become the first bishop in the Lutheran and the Episcopal Church are both of my Philadelphia High School for Girls sisters,
Mm.
Barbara Harris and Patricia Davenport, the first to break in the Episcopal and Lutheran denomination to serve augustly. For me, being in Baptist, which growing up Baptist, then
Yeah.
becoming non denominational, it was not as embraced. So when I was set aside to walk as a bishop and to prepare for the office, I already had the opposition as a woman, as a
Okay.
preacher, as a pastor. So I said, well, I might as well go higher and get even more. New level, new devil. Come on with it. And because God ordained it, I ended up becoming Bishop Mary Floyd Palmer.
Okay.
Most people know me as Bishop Mary because that's the name I go by for my radio show.
Yes, ma'am.
But then the Lord had it to become historic. My uncle was head of a clergy organization and he was retiring.
Mm.
So you don't go down from bishop to pastor, you go up.
Ah,
And by me succeeding him as the first woman, I became the first female archbishop in the city of Philadelphia. So
awesome.
God will often work it out, not the way we think or the way we plan, because He didn't have us at the table. He didn't give us a vote. He just said, "I know the plans I have for you, and if you follow me, they'll all come to fruition."
So y'all
So
hear that?
yes,
Sorry, y'all hear
so
that?
when so when they
You
do that,
follow.
so
If you
yes,
follow, you
right.
gotta
That
follow. You gotta do the work. You gotta do the work, guys. You gotta do the work.
absolutely
All right. So look,
yes.
we're gonna go. We're gonna bring in another commercial, and then I want you to think
Okay,
about your on the run story.
okay.
Think about things you or something may have happened in your life that you ran from, but now you're running to it because God has given you that power to be able to overcome any challenges. And as I think about our ancestors back in the day, they were hard, strong people. It wasn't
Yes, they
much
were.
due to them that they would not overcome it. Us today, we got to believe in that. We got to believe we have that same strength that we can overcome any challenges out there and overcome things to make it better for the next generation. So I just want you all to know that this is no joke, guys. We are about making some history up here on the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show to have the first Archbishop female African American Archbishop on our show. What? Okay. The first African American female impressionist, Dr. Sylvia Trey Moore Morrison, so many other guest guys. We are synergizing over here. So, with that being said, Chris, could you do me a favor and bring up the video with our 5-year anniversary? I want to give the audience another opportunity to see how synergy building has been about us here at Rosa. And we work with different organizations as well. So while Chris is getting that video together, I mentioned already the American Mothers Organization. Love
Yes.
them, been with them for over 10 years now, going on the 11th year, adding value on a national platform. I love working with the Blacks in Government organization at HUD, the Robert C. Weaver Blacks in Government chapter, the Regional 11 chapter. I was just at their 44th National Training Institute in the Gaylords here at Maryland, doing a project management workshop, just adding value, guys, just finding my voice, finding my skills, and being able to give back. You're going to get a lot of that tomorrow from a lot of professionals who's going to be at the conference tomorrow. But they've been out here for more than 10 years. We're bringing some heavy hitters.
Wow.
So, guys, let me tell you something. And I know it sounds like I'm promoting, but I'm not. If your children, if your grandchildren are not showing up to this anniversary year of the 60th March on Washington this year. Okay, if they're not in the room to learn about some legend, you got to question, guys, what are we really focusing on out there? What are we doing that's so busy that we can't come out to a 10th annual celebration being put together by an organization who loves you, unconditionally, because we know your story needs to be told. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let Chris bring up that video. Chris, you with me? Chris, are you there? Okay, we're gonna keep on going. I think Chris may have been a little delayed in the background. So when Chris comes back, I'm gonna try to hold on. Maybe she's sending me something. She says she's here, so she's getting ready for it. Okay, we're having some talk in the green room. So thank you, Chris. So while Chris is getting ready to bring it up, guys, I didn't forget. I forgot to give some gifts. Wait a minute, I haven't given one gift today. What is wrong with me?
Am I
Well,
getting one?
look, I just got a new shipment of my book. Um, One thing I try to teach in my project management coaching class is how to brand yourself, right? Let people know what you're really about. So, this book, True Synergy Work, Leading Within, the 7 defining principles of knowing yourself to birth greatness, is a history piece that I'm telling you will never not be read by people because it's about a true civil rights baby. Turned 60 this year during the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, having her 10th annual conference during that year, talking about the power of five. I can't make this stuff up, guys. I couldn't make it when I was born in 1963, but God saw favor for me to have this book written 6 years ago now. And for times of today, because we know a lot of people are going through challenges. Our babies, our little girls, our little boys are going through challenges, and their story needs to be told. For the first person that can guess where Archbishop and Maria, not you. Okay, Maria, I'm telling you right now, Maria, no, 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 no. But for the first one that can guess, where was Archbishop Mary originally from? Where was she born? You'll get this book, plus you're going to get a free ticket to Rosa's 10th annual Leading Within conference. That's going to be held tomorrow today's Friday, right? Yep, tomorrow at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel in, what is it? No, it's actually in Largo, Maryland. Sometimes they use platinum. You can't win. You're already a vendor. What do you mean? You get the book. You get the ticket.
I want my book. I want my signed book too. I'm looking for my
You,
copy
this,
when I arrive.
this
You
is
ain't
your
playing
gift.
with
You're
me.
going to get a book. We have one definitely for you. All right, since
Yes.
platinum kind of spoiled it for those newbies out there, and she's gonna be a vendor tomorrow. We look forward to her t-shirts. We look forward to platinum shirts and everything. But for someone who has not heard or does not know of, myself or Rosa, I want you all to be tuned in. What's the question? Okay, who invited me and my daughter Tanique to the Black American Passion in Philadelphia during their 50th celebration? Who was the person that invited myself and my daughter Tanique to that Black American Passion in Philadelphia? What year was that, Archbishop? What year
Just
was it?
about 2 years ago.
What,
Two
2019 maybe? It's
2020.
because
20. It,
we couldn't go
yeah.
out during COVID. We couldn't go out during COVID. So that was about 2 years ago. That was in 2020. So it had to have been before that,
Okay.
2019. So guys, think about that. I see some comments coming in. Let me make sure I'm just, bringing everybody up. Maria's laughing. Okay, Maria. Um, I know you want to guess it. I know you want to guess it, but you know. Maria, I'm so proud of her. She has a chess club down in Waldorf. She's one of our sponsors as well. And I just wanted to highlight her, but we're still waiting on Chris. Chris, come on, bring us in the video. Um, That's how we do it over here at Rosa. We trying
Come
to
on
level up. We
here.
trying to level up more, you know? We trying to let people know that look, we're not talking about it, we're being about it. And Rosa was established back in 2008 during the year that our president, our 44th president, Barack Obama, was in office. It wasn't started because of him, but we just happened to launch it that year. And we have just never stopped adding value, making connection, building synergy. And it's something, when I say that I write about it in the book, I'm writing my story real
Hmm.
time. And I can't wait for book 2 to come out. And I know yours is not going to come out at the same time. But talking about this book, I just want y'all to know one more thing. Look, this book was written in 2017. I just found out the other day that our keynote speaker, Dr. Stephanie Myers, who wrote the book about the Invisible Queen, wrote her book the same year, 2017.
Wow.
I also just found out that Dr. Barbara Reynolds, who wrote the book about Coretta Scott King, wrote her book the same year as well. All three of us, and I had no idea when I was, launching that all three of us wrote our books in 2000, and I'm saying 19 is not 19, wrote our books in 2017. Each one of us wrote our books in 2017. Talk about God. I'm telling you, he's at work and he's always at work, but you got to be engaged and you got to be tuned in order to catch those jewels. So the on the run story. Woo, this segment, sometimes have people crying. It sometimes have people laughing. It sometimes have people just pausing and saying, hey, let me think about what happened to me to make me the person that I am today. What happened to me when I was 5 years old that I won't tell the world, because it hurts so bad? What happened to me that probably wasn't, as bad as others have been, but it still hurt me? What happened that I'm calling an on the run story? Share something with us about you that may have happened in your life that you ran to the opportunities because it happened to you.
Well, let me just say that as the firstborn, I had the stress, the weight of setting an example for my two younger sisters, academically, scholastically, and athletically and musically. And so when uh, I went to Girls High, my sisters came behind. I was active in music, playing four instruments, singing on the choir. I was academically a five varsity lettered athlete. Academically, I was in the top 5% of my class. And then scholastically, my parents did not allow me to come in the door with anything less than an A.
Mm,
So I had to set high standards. Um, I was a quiet girl, sort of a wildflower, kind of a nerd, because being bright, you're not always understood.
mm,
So I went off to college. I met a young man. First time away from home, a Christian, somebody that I thought could be a friend, and we started seeing one another, of course, without the permission of my parents. And
mm,
by the time I made up in my mind I wanted to come back home, it was too far. I'm on the borderline of Ohio at Geneva College. I decided to make a decision to come back home and to go somewhere locally. Of course, by that time, I'm talking to my parents and I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. And he was going to Widener. I was going to transfer to Widener or Lincoln, and I had everything planned. I
mm,
had received a full scholarship. Everything's cool. What I did not know was that if I transferred that scholarship, that I would lose it.
mm.
So now I didn't realize that until after had him to stop by happenstance,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
say hi to my parents,
yeah.
so I could introduce them kind of like my father came down the steps while he's sitting in the living room, looked at him, he said hello, and kept on going. My father wasn't a rude man, but I was like, okay. My mother came down and said, what's that on my couch? I'm like, okay, both of y'all didn't have no breakfast. So let me help you. This is a friend with, we have desires and stuff. My father was eating his cornflakes. He said, no. Now, no is the only word in the alphabet that will cause us to change what we want to do.
Mm,
We don't like the word. We don't mind giving it out as we feel, but we
right,
don't like receiving it.
right.
So I didn't handle that well. And next thing I know, I'm out on the porch with the belongings in my bag that my parents gave to me. I'm looking at this thing, well, like, okay, it's on and popping because I just got kicked out of my happy home.
Oh,
Okay, I
wow.
wouldn't leave. Let me go.
Wow.
So being principled and the woman that I am, we're gonna get married because I'm not shacking. I mean, shacking is death. You know, like
I
you
hear
gonna die. If you kiss somebody, you get pregnant. You hold hands. You're sinning. You shacking. And you a PK? That ain't even in the category. So, Negro, the ring got to be on this thing. Don't you know that when the devil sets you up, he will give you just what you want?
Oh,
So
wow.
we got married 6 weeks later.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now I got a husband, I'm a child bride. I'm thinking everything's cool. And an hour after I got married, I came to find out, baby, let me tell you something. It was
Wow.
all a joke. It was all a sight. And as I share in the story, he let me know that, oops, there it is. So it went from you're the greatest thing in the world to verbal abuse, from verbal to
Oh,
mental abuse,
wow.
from mental to physical abuse. And from that type of abuse, which I never saw in my life, never saw my
Wow.
parents, I was in a very warm, conversating, comforting home. Always had lights, gas, water, electric. You know what I mean? My dad did what he had to do to take care of business. Now I'm married. I don't got no electric. What happened to the water?
Oh,
From
wow.
a heaven to a hell experience, and the abuse came.
Wow.
And out of fear, I didn't say anything. I
Mm,
internalized it. Now
mm,
I've got kids in the middle of this,
mm.
and it took my daughter on her almost on her deathbed for me to recognize that you sometimes think you're better and wiser than God, and there are consequences to rebellion.
Mm,
And of course, I grew up that if you defy God and your parents, you will always be on this thing. But it wasn't that much about some sin as it was that God was using that for me to be
mm.
able to give him glory,
Yes.
that I could be able to tell my story unashamedly. That yes, I made some wrong choices and some wrong decisions. I own that. But when I'm looking at my baby and the doctor's telling me, oh no, she has to die, you guys sign this paper. There
Mm.
can get nothing realer than that. That my son, who had been punched and knocked down the steps, could have been paralyzed for the rest of his life.
Wow.
There was nothing but God. And
Wow.
that when he healed my daughter from third-degree burns without one surgery, and God sent an angel to heal her with brand new skin. I'm telling you that when you fall into the will of God, even if you want to run from it, you're going to run to it. And I
Yes.
vowed on that day that I would never ever defy him again. I'd be sold out 100%. That even if I didn't like the word no, I'm going to
Yeah.
embrace the word no because it's going to
Yes.
be for my good. And the scars from that were not things that I knew how to handle, but with the Lord and good wisdom and others that helped me to be able to say, you don't have to internalize these feelings. It's okay to say that you felt this way or you did
Yes.
this thing. Now the Lord allows me to be able to tell ladies, listen, boo boo, been there, done that. I understand. Homeboy, he blew your mind.
Yeah.
Blew your mind this time. Did not? Yeah, he did. Okay. But hey, when you wake up
Wake up,
from
everybody.
the hey,
Wake
no
up.
more sleeping in bed. Watch yourself. The reality of life will hit you. And I went from that to being homeless, from that to
Wow.
um, struggling as a single mother. And my pride wouldn't allow me to humiliate. But pride goeth before a fall.
Yes.
And
Yes.
when you're at the bottom of your rope, the only place I knew to go was back home
Oh,
to
yes.
my parents. I humbled myself. I apologized. I
Mm.
repented.
Yeah.
And my mother let me know. And the one thing Daddy said to me, she said, because of these kids, you're able to cross my threshold.
Oh. Woo.
I
I
need you
tell
to
you.
look like doing this much wrong. And I will take them from you because you ain't fit for them. Now, that wasn't loving. That wasn't embracing. That wasn't your great daughter. And, here's a handkerchief and that. But it propelled me to learn how to be able to stand in a position, to make up in your mind what you will not do, what you will not compromise, what you will never settle for. And I
Mm,
tell ladies all the time, even on your best day, when you in your best dress, put
mm.
on your red dress. Listen, put on your high heels, your perfume,
Going to
and
church up
everything
in here.
seemed to be okay. Let me
Yes.
tell you something. If you ain't happy with you, you'll never make anyone else happy with you. You have to be okay with you. God made us so
There,
unique. None of us have the
that
same
right
DNA. None of us look alike. We can be similar, almost like two, looking like part of a family. But God made us so special. There's only one of us in the world. And when He has you on His mind, even when you're a bad child, He'll pat you on the back. He'll get you back up and say, "Now I don't need another replica in Africa, or one in India, or one in China, or one in California. I got Mary Fleur Palmer in Philadelphia. There's nobody else in the world like her, and that child happens to be mine." So it reaffirmed to me that if God takes time to cover you and allow some things that will straighten you out so you can be the best you, you ought to give Him praise. I could look back at it now and give Him praise. I could look back and laugh. The pain, the horror, the situations, and everything. I can now tell another lady, girl, it ain't over.
Huh.
It's just a stepping stone to what God has for you next. Okay, you
Okay, so
decided I don't want to do that. All right, how that work out for you? All
he-
right, maybe you want to try it this way, and maybe
hello.
you want to get something. Maybe you needed that character shake because you were smelling yourself and thought you were better than anything else.
Wait a minute.
But
Did you
God has a
wait a
way of
minute.
humbling you,
Did
and
you
when
say
He do,
character
honey, ain't
shake?
nothing better. Huh?
Did you say character shake?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
someone better put that in the chat. Character shake. Now, don't. I'm gonna tell you something. Don't go nowhere because you preaching, and that's why we're glad we have you tomorrow.
Yes,
I'm gonna tell
yes.
y'all, those out there. I'm telling you guys, you better share this out today because you want to be in the room where you can take a professional picture with a true, there you go, true legacy builder who was on the run in her mind, in her heart, maybe in her spirit when she was younger, but she found out, just like a lot of us, the hard way, that just because someone may say something or may look a
Mm.
certain way, don't mean that that's the way they are. A lot of people, those little sheeps out there, or no jokes, So you got, I'm not sheep, but those wolves out there in sheep clothing and everything, you got to be very, very careful. And that's what we need to teach our young people. But look, we're a little bit over
Oops, there it is.
of our podcast show today. And I just want to thank you for, just, showing up, because when you asked us initially, well, how long is this going to take? And I'm thinking probably just 45 minutes because, I know you got some important things to do. You got to get ready to come down here tomorrow. So we're not going to keep you long. I say, watch. When she get on there, she going to be lit up. And before she know it, the hour is going to be gone.
Can I be honest? I made sure I cleared my schedule at 3 o'clock. I said, I don't care what's going on. I'm going to be all in on this because one, you are a delight. And two, the audience that I may be talking to, if one woman gets encouraged today, if
Yes.
one feels as though I'm a failure and I'm nothing, I'm here to remind you that sure enough, somebody had you in their mind. Now,
Mm-mm.
whether you know him or you call him anything else other than God Almighty, he
Yes.
still had you on his mind because we would not be alive today if he did not call us. He
That's
didn't wish it, he didn't think it. He spoke your name so you could wake up this morning. And as the old folk used to say, just one more day, God. Hey, just one more day.
all
I
right,
thank you
guys.
for
So
one more day.
awesome. All right, guys. So tomorrow I want you all
Yes,
to arrive a little earlier. If you can get there by 9:30, I know it starts at 10, but if you can get there by 9:30, we're going to do a professional photo shoot in a private section of the hotel. Only the VIPs are going to be able to get into that area, guys. But you got to be there at 9:30. Our photographer will be there. We'll have all of our speakers, guys. I'm telling you, y'all do not. Whew, can I say it? Y'all do not want to miss this 10th annual Leading from Within conference. Again, I want to thank the People MC, Dr. Renee Starlin, okay, Allen, for being a sponsor. I want to thank Miss Lavinia Banks from the St. John Center in Calvert County for being a sponsor. I want to thank Maria Thorpe from the Ward-Off Chess Club. I want to thank the Sister for Sisters Network. I want to thank Staples. I want to thank Brianna Coburn because she's going to be putting our makeup on. Guys, come dressed to impress because we are going to do a silk scarf fashion show by our very own Terry Taboy. And guess what? I'm adding a treat to this, guys. I am going to be allowing you all to wear some gowns that I have not been able to wear in a long time. So now, not only are you going to be wearing some fairly new long Bridgerton type gowns, okay, you're going to have a silk scarf to wear with it. So come on, stop by tomorrow. We start at 10 o'clock officially, but those who are on the program, our honorees, our authors, our vendors, this is going to serve as your official notice. Authors and vendors, be there by 8 o'clock to set up, okay? Get the best spot in the house.
Come on here.
Hello.
And ladies, don't forget your money.
Don't forget,
Amen.
because we're gonna be throwing down. I'm gonna put some more stuff on the screen now, but while I'm putting some stuff on the screen, Archbishop, can you tell people how they can connect with you? What they can do to connect with you?
Absolutely. So I do have a website that is being updated. So don't allow that to dissuade you. We are overhauling it because we talk about image, and image has to be updated, and I'm just grateful for it. But it is www.bishopmary.com. If you want to reach me directly, you can do so through one of two ways. You can certainly email me. I know people don't want to do it. I'm an OG. I like the voice. Can y'all help me? So let me give you a number. You can reach me directly with my cell at 215-901-3372. I answer my phone only to me, and you can leave a message. You can say, I heard what you said today. Can you talk more or less of that? Because I'm sold out in being an encouragement to anyone who listens. 215-901-3372. If you have an engagement or request and you don't want to do it through the cell, you can reach my office at 833-722 4748 833-722-4748. I'm the first option, and it is a confidential message. So
Wow.
I'm the only one that'll be able to get it. So those are my primary ways of contact. I can I be honest? I'm not much on Messenger. I said to Miss Sharon, baby, I'm barely on Facebook. I'm barely on TikTok, Instagram. I just have to have somebody on staff to handle all that, and that ain't me. And so maybe the Lord will open that up in this season. But for right now, you can reach me directly those two ways, and I'd be happy to speak with you and to support whatever it is that you're happening.
I tell you guys, I hope y'all understand how blessed you have been today to be able to meet a true legend, guys, who's living, that you can share with the world her story, her history. Yes, and she's lovely. I love her energy. I love how she speaks. I can't wait to meet you in person or tomorrow to give you my hugs and everything.
You better know it.
We are going
Ooh.
have a ball. And guys, and just in case y'all thought I forgot, because I don't forget much, but we're going to Puerto Rico, right? We're taking the official Rosa's 10th annual on Puerto Rico on January 12th through the 15th, 2024. You better be ready to pay your deposit tomorrow so that you can get one of the best resources that my travel agent has been working with. We about to celebrate for the rest of our lives all of what our ancestors have gone through, how we're
Wow.
levering up more on our platforms and adding values. If I haven't said it to you guys, because you all don't get a chance to really get to interact with me because I'm a true introvert, really. But I just want to say that I'm so proud of every last one of you out there, every last one that I have met over the years. I am so proud of you because 16 years ago, I did not have to meet you back in 2008.
Mm.
16 years ago, you would have never been on my radar. But because of God and Him
What God?
allowing me to do the work, this is why you're going to bless so many people. Be in the room, bring your family in the room tomorrow for Rose's 10th annual Leading Within conference so that you can benefit, your family can benefit, because we're going to need one another more now than ever, especially in 2024. Don't sleep.
Yes.
And with that being said, Chris, I can get to preaching too, and I'm not even I can get to it, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm just going to say thank you, Archbishop Mary, for blessing us with this powerful interview. Thank you for
Thank
sharing your
you.
legacy story. Thank you for sharing your on the run story. Thank you for saying yes, Sharon. I will be in the room tomorrow at Rosa's 10th annual Leading Within conference. With that being said,
Absolutely.
stay
And
behind.
let me say how I always end my show. Baby, if you can't be good, be careful. If you can't be careful, then don't do it. It might not be worth it.
Mm,
That's how I sign off every week. Just
mm.
a little warning from the OG up in here.
I just love her. I love her. Okay, stay behind. We're going to be in the green room. We're going
Yes,
to
ma'am.
do pictures
Yes,
now.
ma'am.
Chris, if you could take us out, I know I kept you a little longer over your schedule, but thank you, my love. If you could do the theme song and take us out. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you.
Bye.
That's right. OG Daddy.
And
Yes.
we're going out. We're going out. Going out. I think keep us on the screen, Chris.
Yeah.
Synergy, energy, living legends are reaching me. Sharing knowledge with you and me, teaching us how to lead with Sharon Lee.